The glow of my phone lit up the dark room, but it brought no comfort, only a question that refused to leave my mind. "Are you still mad at me?" It was from Anna, my sister, the last message she ever sent. I stared at it, my heart pounding, caught between anger and a strange ache of regret. How did things get so broken between us? And why had she reached out only after everything had fallen apart? Growing up, Anna was the spark of our small town, bright, wild, and impossible to ignore. I was always the quieter one, watching her from the sidelines, sometimes frustrated by her reckless choices, sometimes admiring her courage to live on her own terms. I remember the day she left home. She didn't say goodbye. She just disappeared one afternoon, leaving a note that said she needed to find herself. I was angry that she ran away when we needed each other most. That anger festered into years of silence and distance. Her life after that became a mystery I only glimpsed through social media. Pictures of distant cities, new friends, a life I wasn't part of. I told myself she was selfish, but deep down, I missed her every day. When the WhatsApp message came, it was like a crack in the wall we'd built between us. "Are you still mad at me?" she asked. Those 5 words were a fragile thread, a chance for something neither of us dared to hope for. I hesitated. The anger, the hurt, the years of silence, all screamed to keep the distance. But something inside me knew this was a turning point. I had to face the pain, or lose her forever. That night, I started to remember the moments we buried beneath our fights, the times she protected me, the sacrifices she never told me about, the sister I never really saw. Our story wasn't just about the distance or the silence. It was about the love tangled in the mess, waiting to be understood. "And so," I replied. After I sent that reply, the fragile bridge between Anna and me began to form, slowly, shakily, but with a hope I hadn't felt in years. Our conversations were cautious at first, peppered with awkward silences and half-truths. It was clear that beneath the surface, much was left unsaid. Anna opened a door to her world, a place filled with shadows and struggles she had kept hidden from me. She spoke about the choices she made, some reckless, others desperate, and the people who helped and hurt her along the way. It wasn't the glamorous life her social media painted, it was raw and painful. She told me about nights spent in loneliness, jobs she took just to survive, and a heart heavy with regrets. I listened, realizing how little I truly knew about her battle. Meanwhile, I carried my own wounds, the years of feeling abandoned, the loneliness when she was gone, and the silent anger that sometimes boiled over. But hearing her story, I began to understand that her silence was not rejection, it was survival. Yet, every time we made progress, new obstacles arose. Old grudges flared up, misunderstandings crept in, and the distance that had grown between us in the past seemed determined to stay. One night, Anna sent a message that shook me to my core. She confessed a secret she'd carried alone for years, a painful truth about our family that changed everything I thought I knew. She revealed that our parents had made mistakes, yes, but so had she. Deep, costly mistakes she had hidden out of shame and fear. And in that moment, I realized our shared pain was both the wall and the key. That confession was a turning point. The fragile connection between us deepened into something real, something raw and vulnerable. We weren't just sisters anymore. We were 2 flawed people trying to find their way back to each other. But the journey ahead was uncertain. The past was heavy, and the wounds were deep. We had to face what had been broken and decide if forgiveness was possible. As I read Anna's messages that night, I knew one thing for sure. The last WhatsApp message was no longer the end. It was the beginning of a story we still had to write together. The hardest step was the one that neither of us wanted to take, facing our past together. After weeks of late-night messages and tentative calls, Anna and I finally agreed to meet in person, at the old coffee shop where we used to go as teenagers, back when life felt simpler, before the silence grew between us like a wall we couldn't climb. Seeing her again was like stepping into a storm. She looked different, thinner, wearier, but still the sister I remembered. The moment our eyes met, a flood of memories crashed over us. Laughter, fights, secrets, and tears. We talked, really talked, for the first time in years. Not just about the everyday, but about the pain we buried, the regrets we nursed in silence. Anna confessed how lost she felt growing up in the shadows of our fractured family, how she struggled to find her place, often making choices that hurt herself and those around her. She spoke of guilt, loneliness, and a desperate desire to be understood. I shared my own scars, the anger that sometimes felt like a shield, the fear of losing her forever, and the guilt I carried for not reaching out sooner. That conversation was a breakthrough. It didn't erase the past, but it opened a door to healing. Together, we began to piece together the story of our family, the mistakes, the sacrifices, the love hidden beneath years of silence. But healing wasn't linear. We stumbled, sometimes fell back into old patterns. There were tears and frustrations, moments when it seemed easier to retreat into the safety of anger. Yet each time we returned to the conversation, a little more understanding grew. One evening, Anna showed me a box she had kept all these years, filled with letters, photographs, and mementos from our childhood. Inside, I found pieces of our story I had never seen, reminders of a bond that had never truly broken. It was clear now. Forgiveness was not about forgetting, but about choosing to carry the love despite the pain. And in that choice, Anna and I found the beginning of a new chapter, one where we could finally be sisters again. Just as I thought we had started to mend what was broken, life threw us an unexpected curveball, a truth about Anna that neither of us anticipated. It came from a phone call late one night, the kind of call that turns your world upside down. Anna's voice trembled as she revealed a secret she'd hidden for years, a secret that explained so much about her silence and her struggles, a secret about our family that reshaped everything I believed. She told me about the sacrifices she made quietly, the burdens she carried alone to protect me and others, and the lengths she went to shield our family from harsh realities. It was a truth wrapped in pain and love, a story of selflessness hidden beneath the layers of rebellion and distance. This revelation changed how I saw Anna, not as the reckless sister I had resented, but as a woman who had fought battles I never knew about, whose love had been silent but fierce. Our bond deepened, no longer just about reconciliation, but about profound respect and understanding. Yet, this truth also brought new challenges. Trust needed rebuilding on different grounds, and we had to navigate the fragile balance between past wounds and present healing. We learned that love isn't always loud. Sometimes it's whispered in sacrifices unseen and messages left unanswered. In the weeks that followed, Anna and I grew closer than ever, sharing hopes and fears, rebuilding the sisterhood that had almost slipped away. The last WhatsApp message, once a symbol of distance, had become the key that unlocked a new connection, one stronger, more honest, and infinitely more meaningful. The road to healing wasn't simple, but as the days turned into weeks, Anna and I found something precious: peace. We learned to accept the past without letting it define us, to embrace the messy, imperfect love that only siblings share. One afternoon, as we sat together watching the sunset, Anna handed me her phone. "There's something I want you to see," she said softly. It was her final WhatsApp message, the one that started it all. This time, it wasn't just a question, but a hope for forgiveness, for connection, for a future neither of us dared to imagine before. In that moment, I understood that her message wasn't just words on a screen. It was a lifeline thrown across years of silence, a bridge built with courage and love. It reminded me that sometimes the smallest gestures carry the greatest weight. Our story didn't end with perfect resolutions or fairy tale endings. There were still scars, moments of doubt, and challenges ahead, but what we gained was far more valuable. A bond reborn, stronger and more real than ever. As I look back on that last WhatsApp message, I realize it changed how I see my sister, not just as someone who left and hurt me, but as a brave soul who fought to be heard, to be understood, and to be loved. And in seeing her truly, I found a part of myself I thought was lost. This is the story of how a single message shattered silence, broke down walls, and began a journey of forgiveness and love. The story of my sister, and the last message that changed everything.